Hello and welcome to Conversations with Dr. Westman. Today we're going to be chatting about the keto success path. How are you doing, Eric?
Doing great. How are you, Glenn?
Very, very good. Thank you. Eric, you recently presented on the topic of the success path. What exactly is the success path, the keto success path?
Well, everyone has a different place where they're coming from. And an important part of a program, any program, is to be able to meet people where they are. It could be that you haven't even thought about starting something. You haven't even thought about starting keto, or you've thought about it, you're confused, don't know where to go with it. The success path is basically giving you the step-by-step insight or look into what will happen if you do go down this path. So, everyone's path is different, but there are some kind of milestones and as time passes, things happen. And I just wanted to kind of break out the whole story of what happens to people when they start a keto journey.
Now, as it turns out, there are actually 5 steps or 5 stages along this success path. And I'd like to briefly mention all 5, and then we can break down each one if that's okay. So let's call them stages. Stage 1 is where you're at now. So if you feel hopeless or burnt out or discouraged, frustrated or overwhelmed or confused, or a lot of confusion about the keto diet, and you have disappointment, that is where you are right now, stage 1. We move on to stage 2. This is the learning phase, and you're excited to start learning and implementing what you start learning. That actually brings us on to stage 3, which is actually the implementation phase. You're ready to go. You feel inspired, motivated, and confident that you have what it takes to succeed. Then we have stage 4, which is the metamorphosis stage. Finally, we have the results stage. So if we could break down each one of these, starting with where you're at now, give us a brief insight into your understanding of stage 1.
Sure. And, being in a clinical practice at Duke now for 15 years and doing research for 20 years, things change. And I'm finding today that a lot of people feel disheartened or don't even think anything can work. I mean, it's almost like there's a despair, especially this year, which has been tough for so many people. And so one of the most important messages is that this will work. It's simple. It's fairly easy once you get the right ways to start simply. And that's our kind of tagline, is to keep it simple. So I really want to appeal to you, if you feel like nothing's going to work and you feel hopeless, helpless, you've tried everything, we can help here. So if you're feeling like, I don't know where to go, and this will work. And I'm using years of experience to make this just as simple as possible. The second theme I see today is confusion. Now, it's been a double-edged sword to have keto become so popular. It's great because it works so well, and so many people know that, but it also has created this confusion, this noise. I mean, where do you begin? So if you're not sure, you don't think anything will work, this will work. And then if you don't know where to start, well, we can help you with that, because we keep things very simple and we take away that internet keto noise for you and use a method that's been around for really 150 years. And our contribution to the medical literature was to do the research studies and publish them in peer-reviewed journals with Dr. Yancey at Duke. So I'm known as one of the clinical researchers who validated this approach. So the way we do it, I am confident, unless there's some other, like you're on medicine, you have diabetes, things like that, this will work for you because we've done it so much. It's almost like a drug that's been tested through the FDA. We know that this will work. We just have to help you learn how to do it.
Now, that brings us on to stage 2, which is the learning phase. And within the learning phase, you have a method called the NEST method. Do you want to maybe just speak about phase 2, the learning phase?
And it's really important to learn the basics to do it right. I mean, it's kind of like, you don't learn a bike by getting on a motorcycle first. I mean, you learn how to ride a bike. You get on a bicycle so that if you fall, it's not a big deal. I suppose there's some people who can just hop on a Harley and drive it, but most people will start with the basics, fundamentals of learning how. So that's what we do. We start with nutrition. And the internet keto will focus on products and pills and oils. And no, we don't do that. So the NEST method is something we've used and now polished and honed down over 15 years. And that nutrition comes first. So that's N, the basics of nutrition. And then you have to know what to eat. So we then tell you the E is for what to eat. And we have a very simple system of a page of foods that you stick to. And we know that this will work, and we help you follow what to eat. We teach you exactly, so there's no confusion. The S for NEST, S is starting. There's so many different ways to start. You'll confuse, because if someone has just learned one way to do it, they've done it their way, and then they teach everyone else their way. I've seen thousands of people do it in thousands of ways. So we will try to match you how to start with the method that is best for you. It could be really simple. It could be complicated, recreating the foods and pies and things like that. But most people want to keep it simple and easy. So there are a lot of ways to start. So that's a module in our program. It's as important as knowing what to have and knowing what food does in your body, how to start out right. And then the final T for NEST, N-E-S-T, train your mindset. There's a lot of behavioral change and paradigm shifts, and it's very confusing. We want you to understand is to the detail that you want. Why is it we look at different things in the cholesterol profile, for example? Why is it we don't worry about salt in the food if you don't have high blood pressure or heart failure? Why is it? So there are things, it's almost like I'm teaching people to drive on the other side of the road. I grew up driving on the right-hand side, and you grew up driving on the left, and right? Correct? I mean, so it's just a different way of doing it. So, but that paradigm shift or the mindset training is really important. It trips people up. I've even had people, everything's getting better. They're losing weight, diabetes is gone, they feel great. And then they go to another doctor and they get told a bad message about what's happening. And so we create a protective zone of information so that you know why what you're doing is okay. And it might not be what you've been taught or what other people have currently believed. So the NEST method, N for nutrition, E for what to eat, S for how to start, and T for train your mindset.
And then, after you've done the NEST method and we've learned about the stage 2, the learning phase, we have the implementation phase. And what do we learn from this stage?
Yeah, well, so it's one thing to know, and it's another thing to do. And for something like a lifestyle change of food that you may have been doing something for so long, we decided to be able to help everyone, to bring everyone into a closed social media group where everyone starts out or restarts, depending on where you are in your journey. And we get together, we devote our whole team to the time to help people start out correctly. You can ask questions pretty much, of the staff 24/7 and of me for the higher level medical questions, but we've trained staff to understand the NEST method. And I have to say, it's been beyond my wildest dreams to be able to have this approach, because I've taught more people in the last few months doing this than I have in the last few years, because we just have that internet platform, and I've trained people who understand how to do it, and they've done it themselves, so they understand firsthand. So it's not only just knowing what to do, we help you do it. And I think that's really an important part of the program. And not everyone does the social media side of support, but we think that's important so you can get the best experience.
Now, what's great is that after people start implementing this phase or this stage, they start seeing some results. And we call this stage 4 the metamorphosis stage.
Yeah, and the brilliance of this kind of method, and I didn't make it up, I just did studies to show that it was actually safe and healthy to do, is that after a day or two, your hunger's gone, and it's that fast. And so if you're getting started and you spend a few weeks with us, you're going to notice the hunger going away, the weight coming down, usually 1 to 2 pounds per week. Of course, there's some outliers, meaning some more than that, some less. But there's some things that we want you to understand. You might feel headache the first few days. That's okay. We'll teach you about it's called keto flu on the internet. I wish it was called keto, I don't feel well for a few days, because it's not as bad as the flu. And most people don't even get it. So we teach you the ways to reduce your chances of getting keto flu or keto adaptation symptoms. And the main thing is to add more salt, which I know goes against everything I've been told about salt, but we handle that in the classes to help you understand that and then help you implement it safely as you get started. So I'm so excited to be able to do this, because my whole goal is to treat and help as many people as I can. So we'll teach you what to do, the metamorphosis and change. Yeah, you might crave foods. It's okay. After a few days, the cravings are gone. And, yes, to the level of, I've had people in a class tell me, well, what about my fruit? What will I do without it? I explained it's okay. After a day or two, the hunger's gone, the craving's gone, and we'll be there to help you, support you. And so anyway, it's a wonderful system to help you learn what to do and then to get started. And there may be some metamorphosis, like shedding the skin or the cocoon, so that you can learn to fly, and we'll help you at those stages.
It brings us to our final stage, which is the results phase or stage. And what's great is that within this 3-week private Facebook group that we've created for all of our students, we really get to start seeing the results, which is very, very rewarding for obviously our students, but it's also incredible for us to be able to see those and share those results with our students.
Yeah, and one of the most remarkable things about this program, or this kind of program, is that people support each other. You've had the experience yourself, for example, and then you want to help other people to not have to go through the same thing you went through. So that was most remarkable for me to see that. Although now, thinking back, I'm not surprised. There's so many people who it took them so long to find this. They don't want other people to have to wait so long to find it. So this support amongst the staff, and then you as well. And if you're not comfortable with posting on Facebook, that's fine. I mean, in the social media site, because most people actually, we've learned, just watch and look and don't post themselves, but they're watching and they're learning. And so it's okay. You can still learn a lot, even though you're not sharing your, most intimate details. And I have to say, I'm not a big sharer on Facebook. It's not what I grew up with. I'm not comfortable with that either. So there's a flexibility for all styles, whether you just want to watch and learn and watch videos, the live sessions, things like that we have, to try to just make this as easy as we can for you.
Now, of course, everything we've discussed, the keto success path and your nest method, this is all being developed by yourself in a program that you call the Kidamade Simple Masterclass. We started that in November last year. We've run 2 classes so far of the Kidamade Simple Masterclass. We've sold out of both classes. And we actually have, doors for enrollment are actually open right now, and there are only 2 more days left for the Kidamade Simple Masterclass. Eric, I'd like you to chat. We don't run this course 24/7. We run it every couple of months, and we only, keep the doors open for enrollment for about 4 or 5 days. Why is it that we don't keep this course running 24/7?
Yeah, after being in a clinic one-on-one with people for so long as they change to a keto lifestyle, there are many, many factors that come into play. And everyone thinks their own experience is unique, and it's true. So the reason we have a class and then we open the doors to the class and let everyone in is it's kind of like the programs we did around the country, the Adapt live events. When you have people in a room, people are devoted, they're getting started, we're able to actually give full attention. And there are no distractions. There aren't people who haven't watched the class yet. We know everyone's been learning the same material, and everyone's experience is different. And so you want to have the ability to ask the question of, well, what about if I don't have a gallbladder? Well, what about if I have a history of this? What about that? And we'll be able to help you understand if that's a problem or not. Fortunately, in most cases, it's not. I mean, we have sort of a barrier of safety that if you're on you're on a medicine regimen like this, you're on lots of medications, you're not going to want to do this over the internet without medical supervision. But so we think the individualization is key, and you don't get that over internet. You want to get into the Facebook group or a closed setting, and remember when we had a closed auditorium, people felt comfortable asking questions that were were either difficult or very personal too. So we want to create that safe place on a digital platform online where you can feel comfortable and know that you'll be supported.
Fantastic. Well, to let everyone know, as we said, the doors will be closing in 2 days' time. The next time this course will be offered will only be sometime towards the end of August. If you guys would like to learn more about this course or you'd like to enroll, you can go to adaptyourlifeacademy.com. Once you're there, click on courses, choose the drop down, the Keto Masterclass, but we will also have a link for you in the description. Eric, thank you so much for enlightening us on the keto success path today. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to catching up with you again next week.
Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you for your time.
If you like this video, you're going to love our Adapt Your Life Academy. So click on the link in the description to find out more.